You know that sinking feeling when your phone goes silent, when someone who used to light up your screen with good morning texts and random memes suddenly disappears into digital thin air. Meet Ryan. 3 weeks ago, he was riding high. Sarah was texting him constantly, sending him pictures of her coffee, asking about his day, even those cute little goodnight messages that made him smile before bed. Then, like someone flipped a switch, the messages stopped. Day 1, he figured she was busy. Day 2, he started checking his phone every 5 minutes. By day 3, he was spiraling, wondering if he'd somehow screwed everything up. Here's the thing, most guys don't understand. When a woman stops reaching out, she's not playing some elaborate mind game. She's communicating. Crystal clear. You just need to know how to read the message. Let's be real about what's actually happening when she goes radio silent. She's testing your emotional stability. And trust me, this isn't some cruel psychological experiment. Think about it like this. Imagine you're hiring someone for your company. You want to know how they handle pressure, right? Well, she wants to know how you handle uncertainty. Are you the type of guy who falls apart when things get unpredictable? Or are you solid enough to stay centered even when you can't control the outcome? Ryan's first instinct was to send a "Hey, is everything okay?" text, then another one, then a longer paragraph explaining how he was just checking in. Each message screamed one thing: emotional instability. The silence wasn't the problem. His reaction to the silence was. Here's what she's really watching for. Can you maintain your own emotional center when hers shifts? Because relationships aren't about two people being perfectly synchronized every moment. They're about two individuals who can dance together even when the music changes tempo. Now, she might also be recalibrating her interest level. This one's harder to swallow, but it's crucial you understand it. Sometimes silence means she's stepping back to figure out exactly what she feels. Maybe the initial excitement has settled, and now she's asking herself the real questions. Do I actually want to build something with this person? Or was I just caught up in the novelty? Emma did this with a guy she'd been seeing for about a month. Everything felt perfect on paper. He was attractive, successful, treated her well, but something was missing. That deeper connection, that sense of, this person gets me, wasn't quite there. So she pulled back, not to hurt him, but to get clarity on her own feelings without the pressure of constant communication. The mistake most guys make here is thinking they can text their way back into her interest. They can't. Interest isn't built through persistence. It's built through presence, through being the kind of person someone genuinely wants to be around. Sometimes she's simply creating space for you to step up. This might sound counterintuitive, but hear me out. In the early stages of dating, many women will pull back their communication to see if you'll take the lead. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about seeing if you have the confidence to pursue what you want. Think of it like a tennis match. If she's always hitting the ball into your court, she never gets to see how you serve. The silence creates an opening for you to show initiative, to demonstrate that you're genuinely interested in building something with her, not just responding to her energy. Marcus, a guy I know, experienced this with someone he'd been casually dating. When her texts became sporadic, instead of panicking, he planned an actual date, called her, not texted, called, and said, "I'd like to take you somewhere special this weekend. Are you free Saturday evening?" She said yes immediately. Later, she told him she'd been hoping he'd take more initiative in planning their time together. But let's address the elephant in the room. Maybe she's just not that interested anymore. And you know what? That's completely okay. Not every connection is meant to develop into something deeper. Sometimes people drift apart naturally, and silence is her way of letting things fade rather than having an awkward conversation about it. The mature response isn't to force communication or demand explanations. It's to respect the message she's sending and focus on your own life. If she wants to reconnect, she will. If she doesn't, you've saved yourself time and emotional energy that you can invest elsewhere. Here's the truth that most dating advice won't tell you. Your response to her silence says everything about who you are as a man. Are you someone who needs constant validation to feel secure? Or are you grounded enough in your own worth that you can handle the uncertainty with grace? The most attractive response to silence isn't more words. It's living your life so fully that her absence doesn't create a void. Continue building your career, nurturing your friendships, pursuing your interests. Be the kind of person who enhances someone's life rather than depending on them to complete yours. If she reaches out after a few days of space, great. Respond naturally, but don't interrogate her about where she's been. If she doesn't, you have your answer, and you can move forward with clarity. Remember this, silence is information. It's telling you exactly where you stand, without the confusion of mixed signals or unclear communication. The question isn't what her silence means. The question is, what are you going to do with that information? Be the man who can handle uncertainty with strength, who can face potential rejection with dignity, and who values himself enough to only invest in connections that are truly mutual. That's not just attractive, that's powerful. Your worth isn't determined by whether she texts you back. It's determined by how you show up in the world, with or without her validation.